So today I'm going to show you this game. uh, I had an accuracy of 72%, 72.6. I had one brilliant move, one great move, two best moves, two excellent moves, one good move, one book, one accuracy, two mistakes, and had a game rating of 1150. So in this game, my opponent resigned after I made the brilliant move. So let's start the review. So I open with e4, that is a book opening. My opponent responded with e5. Then I got my knight out. He also got his knight out to defend the pawn that I was attacking, to defend the e5 pawn. Then I offered my d4 opening. This, I believe, this is the Italian opening. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about those things for now. Yeah, I'm not, but I think it's the Italian opening. Anyway, so I gave that, I gave out the pawn, which he responded by taking, which I back with my knight. Then he defended that square with with the bishop, because in this case, if he had taken back with the knight, probably I would have taken back the knight with my queen. But since he didn't want that. He came to defend. Didn't want me to control the center, so he came to defend that particular box, that square with the bishop. So I decided to take the knight with my knight, which of course he took with his pawn. But now, as you can see, um, we have he has two pawns on the same file. But then let's continue. So I got my bishop out to c4. That was an excellent move. Then he decided also to get the knight out. So this move basically allows my opponent to castle. Also, me getting the bishop out allows me to castle. Although the computer was saying my opponent would have played queen h4. That move, it threatens checkmate in one if I don't defend that. So apparently, me moving my bishop to g5 was a mistake. But my idea was I was pinning the knight to the queen, so that in this case he doesn't take my e4 pawn, because if he does that, he was going to attack my f2 pawn. I'd have two attackers on my f2 pawn, and that is not good at this stage of the game. But anyway, um, according to the computer, to the chess engine, this was a bad move, and this is what would have happened with this particular move that I made. But anyway, let's go back. So uh, after my move, he responded with castling, and with the castling, the computer says this is a miss, because instead my opponent would have gone for the f2 pawn, because with that check, with taking f2 pawn, he checks my queen, So I'll not have castling rights in this case because either after taking, but taking here when they sacrifice the bishop, it's not advisable to take back because if I take, he follows up with a check with the knight, and that leaves my bishop hanging. And so in that case, you'll have to just move your king from the check, meaning you lose castling rights. But anyways, that's not what he played. So I pushed my pawn to e5, attacking the knight, so double attacking the knight. He responded by getting the queen out, which I responded by castling, which is also a mistake according to the computer. And you also, if you can see from um, the bar on the left, it's showing that my chances of winning is like, if you see this, you can say it's like 25%. Well, my opponent is 75%. So here my opponent made a very big mistake, a very big blunder, which now increased my chances of winning this game by pushing the pawn to attack my pawn. In this case, he would have just taken the pawn with the queen, because once he takes with the queen, he's attacking my bishop. So I made a great move by taking the knight and at the same time attacking the queen. So my opponent took back, which was a good move. But now uh, he's doubled up his pawns on two files, which is not good. Defending it is quite hard. So instead of me moving, I decided to attack the queen. So here, as much as my bishop is under attack, but I'm also attacking the queen. In this case, she moved, and then I went also back, just pinning the pawn to the queen. Then he made an inaccuracy by moving uh, the queen to the h8 square. This is an inaccuracy because once I have two attackers on the f6 pawn, then this will be a fork between the queen and the king. And this is very bad. It's called the royal fork. Very terrible. So because I'd seen that, I brought out my queen, putting pressure on the on the f6 pawn. So it's here now where the game becomes interesting. So my opponent decided to push uh, his bishop to d4. What this does is adding a defender to is adding defense for the f6 pawn. I responded by pushing my pawn to c3, attacking the bishop. So my opponent responded by pushing the bishop to e5, and it's here that I sacrificed my rook, and that was a brilliant move. So I was going for this. I was going for the royal fork, and there's nothing that was going to stop me. So what I did was I sacrificed my rook. Yeah. So yeah, whatever it does, if it takes the rook, I'm still going for the royal fork. So because that was the next move my opponent did. uh, because in this I would probably be winning the game in like three more moves if I'm not wrong. I'll be having met maybe in two or three. Because after the royal fork, probably my opponent, if I do the royal fork with the bishop, so my opponent will obviously take that piece with the nine, will take that piece with the queen. After that, I respond by taking the queen with my queen, which will still be a check. And because there is no other way he can defend that check, he will move the piece to the g8 square. Anyway, I don't think there'll still be some few moves to make before we checkmate. But anyway, yeah, that was it. That was my game. That is how I sacrificed my rook. And yeah, my opponent resigned before because in this there was no way he was surviving the attack. So yeah, thank you guys, the chess engineer over here. Till next time, that's how to play chess. Turus, goodbye. Like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, enjoy the content.